I've been weary for so long, but I keep my eyes on. When the night feels heavy, your light still breaks through. I'm waiting, Lord, I'm waiting on you. Waiting on you, waiting on you. I've walked through valleys deep and cold, where faith was the only fire to hold. The wind was strong, but you held me still. You whispered peace, said, child, be still, my child.
I hear you, Lord.
Lift up your eyes,
I see your light.
Your strength shall rise again.
I'll wait tonight.
For those who wait upon the Lord, they'll rise and take their flight. I won't run ahead of you, Lord. I won't fight what I don't see. I'll let your wind be my courage,
and your wings
carry me, Lord. Oh, carry me through the storm, through the fire, carry me.
They that wait upon the Lord
shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings
like an eagle in the wind.
They shall run, not grow weary.
They
shall walk and not faint. Oh Lord, I'm waiting on you again. I've seen days where tears won't end.
That's right.
But you've been closer than a friend. You took my sorrow, made it sing. You turned my winter into spring.
He's faithful, oh yes, he's true.
Every promise he'll see through. When the storm clouds start to rise, he'll lift you high above the sky. Lord, you're the anchor when I'm adrift, the fire that gives my soul its lift. You renew my heart, restore my fight. You turn my darkness into light. So I'll wait on you, even when I don't understand. I'll trust your timing, Lord, it's all in your hand. Like a watchman waiting for the morning light, I'll keep my hope in you tonight. Keep your hope, keep your faith. The Lord will never be late. Hold on, hold fast. His word will always last.
They that wait upon the Lord
Shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings
like an eagle in the wind.
They shall run, not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. Oh Lord, I'm waiting on you again. Waiting on you,
31.
waiting on you. Sometimes the waiting feels long. Sometimes my faith feels small. But I know you hear me, Lord. You're still the God of it all. He never sleeps, he never fades. His mercy's new for all our days. He lifts the broken, he heals the torn. He gives new wings to those who mourn. Oh, I've been down on my knees, Lord. my joy, 'cause you renew me, you restore me, you raise me up again.
Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. I am your humble servant and host for today. This is Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. I see Nicole in the building. I see Kenneth is already in the building. All praises unto the Most High. Man, we have a great lesson today. But man, I must comment on this music that this AI is doing when they're bringing this soulful rendition of our scriptures to us. I mean, it's oh man, it makes me want to set trip. I can't tell you, it's the same vibe that I would get if I was out, when I was 20s and, rolling to the club and drinking the 40 ounces and all and whatnot, and feeling that aggression of NWA and Ice Cubes and all of the different ones. These Psalms, these Isaiah, these scriptures that they bring this soulful rendition to, man, gives me that same energy, that same wanting to stand firm, that, us against the world, that it's a beautiful feeling, man. I'm just so glad to be able to take a feeling from my youth and be able to have it transcend into something that's righteous and still feel that same aggressiveness that fuels the testosterone, so to speak, right? I see my sister Coty is in the building on YouTube, all praises. So our lesson today is being messy versus peace. In my city of New Orleans, I took a little tally, right? I see my wife, my butter pecans in the building. My youngin' Logan, he is off about getting ready to not debut. He debuted yesterday, but his acting at his school. So he's about to do his play I will be heading to after I leave here. My wife is already there. But as I said, man, I did a little poll in the city of, the most popular YouTubers that go live or Facebook or Instagram, influencers that everybody seems to want to gravitate to. One night I happened to be driving Lyft and I stopped at a Church's on Martin Luther King and Claiborne. Everybody knows that Church's is classic, right? So this lady's in there and she's glued to this thing, and then two other people watching the same thing. And I'm like, all right, who's this, right? I know about Empower Unola. I know about Reggie Art. Those are some of the ones that are really large, but they're mostly on the political scene. We got a couple. There's a couple that lives out in California that travels, that's from New Orleans, and they do a vlog, and that's extremely popular as well. But the one that seems to be the most popular, that people tune in to the count of tens of thousands, from my understanding, and I'm not going to say the gentleman's name, but he's a gay gentleman, but his platform, and I'll let his fans express what his platform was. Because I asked him, I said, well, the lady, I asked her, I said, well, what is his platform? What is he standing for? What is he pushing? What is he moving? What is he talking about? Is it food? Is it the city? She's like, nah, really just gossip. Just really, messy. Then she said, I probably shouldn't even be watching it, but he just got the tea on everybody. He knows all about every different wards, uptown to downtown. He's in the mix, right? He's in the mix of everybody's business. He's getting everybody's tea, and he's getting online, and everybody is eating it up. Now, we've stated before many a times that social media is that platform that is one of those things that can be used to actually go against the Ten Commandments by way of covetousness and of gossip, lies. Those two things are prevalent on the social media landscape. In fact, you have to be I mean, you have to understand it kind of started with right before the social media came in. MTV started to bring about this type of content where it was like shock jocks on the radio now doing the most shocking things they can on video, and a group called Jackass. I know that's my age group. I see Big Chief Kevin Goodman in the building. All praise to Chihuahua. We know, and our age group that grew up in the 90s of Jackass and all of the groups of guys, and that was the thing that everybody was gluing themselves to. It was the ushering in of not only social media, but reality TV. So we already know that the landscape of social media is not one that's built on education or built on goodness. It's built on who can do the wildest thing, the most shocking thing. So when I'm talking about this particular gentleman, and even though he goes in that other community, I'm going to still refer to him as what the Most High made him a man. I'm not going to say his name, but the man that is getting all of these views is not this is not a lashing on him. That's why I'm not saying his name. It's not a lambasting or lamenting of him. It's the lamenting and the lambasting of our people that tune in. Everybody has free will. The Most High gave us that. So this lesson isn't about the gentleman. It's about the reaction and the people of my community that are tuning in to hear this mess. So I want to define what mess and what messy and what peace is, right? And my wife and my youngin, they gave me the definitions, right? So messy, untidy, Logan gave me messy, untidy, or dirty. And then peace being freedom from disturbance, tranquility. So peace is tranquility. That would be the opposite of mess, because mess is hyperbolic, right? It's talking wildness, it's shocking, right? So that's would be the opposite of tranquility, right? And my wife's definition that she had for mess was a situation or state of affairs that is confused. One definition of mess says untidy and dirty. The other says a situation or state of affairs that is confused or full of difficulties. Mess, messy. My son at 13 gave it to you in a physical form of your room or your house or your car being messy, so much that it will affect the way you think, affect the way you do, because it translates throughout your life and transcends throughout your life, this uncleanliness. My wife goes to the brain, to the psychology of mess. It is a state of affairs of confusion. So when we're talking gossip, someone is trying to tell you that what you know or what you have heard isn't what it is. It's something else. And I know it and you don't. That's why it's called gossip. Now, it may not be true because neither of the parties that's involved in what they're saying is there to verify. It is a third party telling you their opinion and whatever they think they've uncovered to now make things a mess, confused, bring difficulties. So we live in this world that we start off even with the Greeks and their dramas, the Iliads, right? When it spoke about all of dramatization of all of these relationships that were full of drama. Peace, my wife's definition, is freedom from disturbance. And again, tranquility. So we must understand that by definition, messy and peace are directly opposite of each other. But our people, I see my cousin Michael is in the building, but our people, not just because we are black and we are in this or that. No stereotypes. I'm telling you from history how this has evolved into what we know as social media. From the Greeks and the Romans and the Iliads and their dramas to MTV switching from a musical platform to Jackass and a reality, ushering in reality TV, where everybody was trying to emulate shock jocks in a visual form. To now we have social media where we can all now participate, not watch, but we can actually spew our own and it can go viral. So when we're looking at the definition of messy, we understand the definition of peace. We understand our parents told us as children in past generation, don't you get nobody else's business. In fact, if you got in grown people's business, it was a great, 90% and up chance that you're going to get smacked in the mouth, especially in my house. I'm in New Orleans. I will say that, yes, that was a prevalent thing between all of our cultural parents. If you got in grown folks' business, you got a backhand in your mouth. But now we live in a society where you can spew anything and there's nothing to be smacked in the mouth, but it comes to death. Because people kill behind reputations. We as a society have to pull away from the shiny fake gold of drama, from the shiny, like a cat loves little balls, right? We have to pull away from allowing that to intrigue us to where we want to be a part of it. Now, I do want to make a delineation between telling the truth and screaming the truth and what one would call gossip. See, in Logan's, well, that's a scripture. We're gonna get into that. Let's go and blow the shofar, so that we can go ahead and get into our scriptures, right? And we're gonna say our prayer. The shofar is blasting, right? And that prayer is that whatever you have been questioning you this week, the Most High has brought you here to get an answer to that question. And whatever scriptures or words whatever scriptures that the Most High has given my family and myself to share with you, we pray that those scriptures, not our words and not my commentary, but the words of the Most High, answer those questions that you have in your spirit. And we pray once you accept those answers to be the truth and the true answer for you, then we pray that the Most High resonate, lifts you up, elevates you immediately in that moment when it resonates with you. So let's stand to the east and blow the shofar, and we get to these scriptures. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, praises. Boy, I almost scared. I thought my wife had already left the house. I saw some movement, the dogs acting crazy. I was like, that's a human right there. Oh, praises. So let's get to these scriptures, right? So we're going to start off with Psalms 40, verse 8. Psalms 40, verse 8 through 15. Psalms 40, verse 8 through 15. And it reads, Then I said, See, I will bring a scroll recounting what befell me, to do what pleased you, my creator Shaddai, is my desire. Your teaching is in my innermost parts. Remember that innermost part. I proclaimed righteousness, your righteousness, in a great congregation. See, I did not withhold my words. O Shaddai, you must know it. I did not keep your benefits to myself. I declared your faithful deliverance. I did not fail to speak of your steadfast love in a great congregation. O Most High, you will not withhold from me your compassion. Your steadfast love will protect me always. So, as I outline what messy is and what we speak and how we have gotten it through this time, this Psalms 48 through so far, I've only gone to verse 12, is showing us that what is the opposite of what we see on social media. We do not see a people that profess him or profess his righteousness or the things that were done for them, which would be called a testimony, which would have to make people vulnerable and express where they went wrong or what they did wrong without anybody else, just what they did. And the Most High would tell, but then in return, they get to tell how the Most High moved them through that, what grace and mercy, how they were delivered from that scenario. That's a testimony. It's an if then. If you didn't do something wrong, you would not have a testimony. Let me say it again. In this world, 9 times out of 10, if you didn't do anything wrong, it's not about a test. It's not a testimony. Now, of course, you have when someone is sick or someone is ill and the Most High has moved them because of your prayers. I'm sure there's other kind of things where you can witness what the Most High has done. But when we're talking about testimonies, we're talking about a downfall and a resurrection. So here we are seeing what we should be telling or saying in a great congregation such as social media. What we should be vulnerable to say instead of the opposite of the bravado of look what place I'm vacationing in, look what purse I have, look what girl I got, look what car I have, look what success I've gotten, with the absence of the humility that the Most High has provided, that you could breathe enough to get that. Well, many times, most of the times when you see it, it's gotten through some nefarious ways. So they can't really tell you how they got it because it was a scam. It was a scam. It says in verse 11 of Psalms 40, I did not keep your benefits to myself. I declared your faithful deliverance. I did not fail to speak of your steadfast love in a great congregation. This, I don't know how you could have a conversation or speak the goodness of what has been done for you as you are a witness in a great congregation where someone will consider that messy or someone will consider that a problem. Verse 12, O Shaddai, you will not withhold from me your compassion. Your steadfast love will protect me always. So if there is someone that is a naysayer to your testimony, a naysayer to you giving glory unto the Most High for what he has done, then we can clearly understand the spirit of that particular individual, no matter who they be, related or not, elder or not, politician, someone with a title or not. Verse 13, for misfortunes without number enveloped me. My iniquities have caught up with me. I cannot see. Now, I want to be clear that as he's speaking of all these great things, that if he spoke of what the Most High has done, that he is being protected. When he comes here and says that he's being overcome, as he says, by misfortunes, he doesn't count to the fact of him speaking of the Most High where he got his misfortune. His misfortune is because of his own sins. His misfortune is because of his own deeds, when he did not follow the Most High in righteousness and humility. So it says, my iniquities have caught up with me. I cannot see. They are more than the hairs on my head. I am at my wit's end. Oh, favor me, Shadiah, and save me. Oh, Shadiah, hasten to my aid. In verse 15, let those who seek to destroy my life be frustrated and disgraced. Most of the time, the people on the other end of the mess, not the person that is spewing the mess, the individuals that are affected by the situation that's going through the situation, these are the people who are saying, those that seek to destroy my life, the gossipers, that you have them frustrated and disgraced. Frustrated and disgraced. Now, obviously, that's not a prayer you can pray if you have been participating in. One day, Logan came to me and said, would you be mad if I got in a fight at school? And I said, it depends on what's the circumstances, right? That's a very blanket thing to say to a human being, right? When you just want that blanket approval, which most of people want. People want to be approved and said, okay, no matter what the devil details are. I said, well, it depends on what the situation is. And I, understanding kids and understanding 13-year-old teenagers, you pretty much know what it's about. And I said to him, well, if it's mess, you know what I'm saying? I definitely can't condone he say, she say fights because somebody said this and somebody said that, especially if you're a participant in it. So as me sitting in the judgment seat, same as the Most High would be with us, I'm telling him, if it has come upon you and you have not participated in it, you have not pushed it, it is not from your mouth, that you are only responding because so many people have said it and it's gotten to such a crescendo that now it has come to a head. If that's a scenario, then obviously, just like the Most High is saying, you're covered and protected by this household. You can apply what as to all that apply. But if I get there and all the words are coming from you, and everybody has something to say that you said, then that would be unfortunate for you, because then you lose the protection of the house. Same as the Most High. I see Kathleen in the building. This shouldn't be something that we shouldn't we should understand. So we should be living a certain type of lifestyle where we can get that grace, mercy, and covering. Let's go to Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19, verse 16. And it reads, do not deal basely with your countrymen. Do not profit by the blood of your fellow. I am Shaddai. You shall not hate your kinfolk, or in your heart reprove your kinsmen, but incur no guilt because of him. Reprove is a very important word. So what's the hot topic today? Diddy. So would you consider, or one would ask me, Kayel, would you consider what 50 Cent did as gossip, as messy? I lean on this verse here as reproof. There's a guy named Joe Budden that does a podcast, and his reaction to it was he left after viewing it that he felt as though Diddy should have gotten more time. It is clear that all that has been used has been his words, his actions. You may want to call it messy because it is, you may think he didn't have a place to do so. If he is reproving his kinsman, if he is saying this is not right, but yet he is still doing the same thing as him, the light will come upon him, 50 Cent that is, just as fast as he's putting it on Diddy. So I don't consider this documentary, because it's a documentary, which takes it outside of gossip and takes it outside of instigation. When it lays out the actions of a human being, it is what's done in the court systems every day. So when it comes to that, I believe facts are facts, and facts should be known. And that there is so much in today's society of counter media where they're giving you images, where they're lying to you. And in the documentary, it showed his attempt, and that most of this film was going to be in an attempt to shape his image, to cut things in a certain manner, to do things in a certain manner, where this same information would have made you maybe like him. So no, I don't consider that documentary messy. I do not. It says here, do not deal basely with your countrymen. That means fight. That means physical. And it says, do not profit by the blood. Do not kill them of your fellow. I am the Most High. You shall not hate your kinfolk in your heart. Reprove your kinsmen, but incur no guilt because of him. What does it mean, incur no guilt because of him? Because if you do him wrong, even though he's wrong, you become guilty, and therefore you are going to be judged by the Most High as well. Shabbat Shalom, my brother. Yohan is in the building. Let's go to Proverbs 11. Proverbs 11, verse 12. And it reads, he who speaks contemptuously of his fellow man is devoid of sense. A prudent man keeps his peace. So when we're looking at the internet, social media, and people are spewing all of the hate and the gossip, like I said, the number one live watched Instagram gentleman of New Orleans is a person that only pushes out gossip and mess about other people. And our community, as depraved as it is, our community, as social engineered as it has been since the Romans with the Iliad and the dramas, to the TV, to the now social media, our depraved community is running and sucking up to this information. I'm telling you, we need to stop. There's people that's talking goodness every day and nobody's paying attention. So if you stop paying attention to gossip, he'll keep on doing what he's doing and he'll be judged on him. And nobody would have to even talk about him because he would be a non-factor. I'm talking about him because he seems to be a factor. And what factor is he? He is showing a light on the personality of our community. And I'm here today on Shabbat with the Most High to tell you, we all need to break away from the dramas, from the gossip. Put something better in your brain, something better in your eyes, something better in your ears. And it says, Exodus, and it goes, Proverbs 11, Proverbs 11 and 13, I think I did too. And excuse me, verse 13 is, a base fellow gives away secrets, but a trustworthy soul keeps a confidence. Again, confidence in here meaning confident, concealed. Yeah. So not in the like confiding, because you're already being confided in, but the fact that you can keep it, which means it's the opposite of speaking it, which is the opposite of gossip. Right? So let's go to Exodus 23:1. Exodus chapter 23, verse 1, it says, you must not carry false rumors. You shall not join hands with the guilty to act as a malicious witness. You shall neither side with the mighty to do wrong. You shall not give perverse testimony in a dispute so as to pervert it in favor of the mighty. This is gossip being personified in Exodus. Chapter 23, again, verse 1 reads, you must not carry false rumors. You shall not join hands with the guilty to act as a malicious witness. So joining hands, not with the righteous. It says don't join hands with the guilty and be a witness of the erroneous gossip. It says you shall neither side with the mighty to do wrong. You shall not give perverse testimony. So I told you what a testimony was in the beginning. So a perverse testimony is not your truth, but some lie you made up, and then saying that you were delivered out of that lie that you never was in. It's a perverse testimony in a dispute so as to pervert it in favor of the mighty. So when I said earlier with Diddy and 50 Cent, Joe Budden walked away as saying, I felt like he should have gotten more time. So I wouldn't call the court system the ones on our side. I would say that the court system was a part of his side, as I believe all of the justice system here is a bought and paid system. I stand by that. So 50 Cent wouldn't exactly be on the same side as the court systems, even though he's bringing out information that should have been in the court, that warrants not in the court. So if the truth wasn't given in that proceedings and someone decides to bring out that truth, doesn't sound like gossip. Let's go to Proverbs 10. Most High tells us not to carry lies, not to help the mighty win because it benefits you. And you don't know who the weakling is. You don't know who's being affected by it. But you know that you can come up with the mighty ones if you side with them. So you speak on it. You talk on it. You want to get likes. You want to get ads with your social media account. You want to be monetized, baby. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 18. Verse 18 and 19. And it reads, he who conceals hatred has lying lips, while he who speaks forth slander is a dullard. Wow. We we just keep on hitting on it, huh? Say it says he who conceals hatred has lying lips. So if you are being truthful and saying that you despise or hate someone because of their actions and what they've done. Oh, my sister gave me a Proverbs 40:20-22. I'm gonna have to pull that up. Proverbs 4:20-22. So in this Proverbs 10 though, it says, if you don't express and let it be known and not play with people and say, you and I just don't rock. We are oil and water. Then you become a liar within that. You are being a scam artist. You are being slickster. You are, manipulating the situation for your benefit. So 50 would have been doing the opposite of that by saying, I do dislike him. In fact, he did take the mother of my child and use her in his ring of things. So it did directly affect 50 Cent, whether you want to call that his reason for doing it as being messy. But if you're not a parent and you don't understand having to explain the actions of another parent, then you really need not be in this conversation. You really need not have an opinion on what you would do to make sure that your child understood the truth. I'm going to tell you again. When it's in your house, it's in your seed, clarity must be made so that your seed doesn't repeat. Let's go to Proverbs 4, as my sister gave us, verse 20-22. And it reads, my son, listen to my speech, incline your ear to my words. Do not lose sight of them. Keep them in your mind. They are life to him who finds them, healing for his whole body. Verse 23, more than all that you guard your mind, for it is the source of life. Yeah. I see David's in the building. I see Sean's in the building. When we reject gossip, when we reject the social media filled lies and rumors and instigation, we are guarding our minds. We are guarding it from being depraved by this information. We have to choose what we are going to put in our minds, in our eyes, and in our ears, because ultimately it affects our spirit. That's facts. You cannot say sitting there watching violence 24/7, not even 24/7, watching violence for a complete month, only when you have an opportunity to watch TV. And you're going to tell me that you won't have violent reactions to the situations that happen in your life? You're lying to yourself. You're saying that listening to certain music won't give you a mental perspective about life that make you react from the hypnotic seeds that are planted by the music. You will be lying to yourself. So in this Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says, guard your mind. Let's go to, why I put that up? Like I was in the show. Let's go to Proverbs 11:9. I'm tripping. Proverbs 11:9. It says, the impious man destroys his neighbor through speech, but through their knowledge, the righteous are rescued. So one neighbor that speaks of being more than everyone else and talking bad and everybody else is beneath them can destroy neighbors and communities. But the ones that speak of knowledge and righteousness, they give ways of rescuing their people. So when we had the Negro spirituals, before we had a record industry and we were singing unto ourselves, we have found in this day that the old Negro spirituals that we sang were actually codes, were actually ways of escaping from the plantation, actually ways of passing words to each other. Can you imagine if the people in the slavery day had internet and could coordinate? You think they would be doing the thing that we're doing? You think they would be talking about Sarah and Joe doing whatever with each other and how one got caught going to one plantation to the other plantation? Do you think they would be concerned about that when they knew the next day they were going to have a master beating them with a whip? Do you think that's how they would have used social media? That's the question. Because you need to ask yourself, how are you utilizing this tool? Because if the slaves had it, they would have figured out ways of escape, ways of connectivity, ways of how to heal each other, ways on how to get more food to each other, ways on how to connect communities without others knowing. So in this Proverbs 11:9, and it says, the impious man destroys his neighbors through speech, but through their knowledge, the righteous are rescued. Verse 10, when the righteous prosper, the city exalts. Proverbs 11:9, when the righteous prosper, the city prospers, it exalts. We're not in that type of city. We're not in that type of world. Let's go to Proverbs 18. This is one that Logan gave us. Proverbs 18, verse 9. We're going to start at 8. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 8 through 9. And it reads, the words of a quarrelous man are bruising. They penetrate one's innermost parts. Remember when I did Psalms 40 in the beginning, verses 8 through 15, and it spoke about when you give praise unto the Most High, it affects the most inner parts. So here in Proverbs 8, it tells you that the ill will of others, the speech of others, of quarrelsome men are bruising, and they penetrate one's innermost parts. This is not a game. Verse 9, as Logan brought us, one who is slack in his work is a brother to a vandal. So he gave me that scripture in supporting messy. And what's a scripture that would explain what messy is? And as I told you earlier, his path was of the physical. My wife was of the psychosis of this all. So here is the very physical. It says that one who slacks in his work is a brother to vandal. So it's saying that vandalism, destruction, is with the person who slacks, the person who's messy, who isn't clean, who isn't in order. That when you talk and you're outside the order and you're gossiping and you're not steadfast on the Most High, you inadvertently at times, you become the person that causes the violence, causes the problem, causes the issue. Let's go to verse 21 in that same chapter 18. And verse 21 of Proverbs 18 reads, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Those who love it will eat its fruits. Oh, we're talking about changing our community. This is what mess versus peace is about. If we want our community to exalt, we want our community to prosper, we have to put down the hyperbolic messiness of the internet. If we want our community to change, we want to, I see Alana's in the building. if we want our community to overcome the corrupt politicians, we want our community to overcome bad education, we want our community to overcome these things, we have to stay away, clearly away from the messy Mayas and the ones that have been the descendants all the way up to now in our community. I mean, Messy Maya put it in his name. He was a man. Yeah, his name really wasn't Maya, but that's what he called himself. And you know what his phrase was? His catchphrase? Who gonna pop me? He was so messy, talking everybody's business. People that were in his community that were trying to be straight and not tell anybody else. People in his community that were having fights amongst each other. He was messy all the way around. And when he started to profess, who gonna pop me, somebody answered it for him and popped him. So now we are, because that was back then when you had a space, whatever, MySpace, yeah. That was back when you had MySpace. Now we in full-fledged Instagram, we in Snapchat, we in all the ways of bullying that we can. So we see in our schools, and now you got the UK that's now banning social media for kids under the age of 18. Banning social media from 13 to 18, you can't watch it. I mean, to 16, I'm sorry, 13 to 16. And then at 16 is parental guidance. Now they're trying to get it other ways. Why? Because social media messiness, not only does it affect the kids, it affects the adults. But you can't tell adults that they can't have their iniquities, their fetishes, their things that tear them down. You can't tell them they can't have that. That's a problem. Because they tell you they're in control of it. So we got to get with the kids, right? Get to them first, so that maybe when they come 18, that they won't be spewing the same hatred, the same instigation, the same gossip that the present generation is doing. Let's go to Isaiah 26. This is also Logan's, and this is going to be of his peace. Isaiah 26, verse 3. And it reads, the confident mind you guard in safety because it trusts in the Most High. So Logan says peace, we understand as being steadfast and thinking about the Most High. And he says that's why he's always happy, because he's always keeping his thoughts about the Most High. How many kids you know at 13 would say that to you? Even if they're lying, would they say that they keep God, what y'all would call God, what in our household we say Shaddai in the Most High, is on his mind? That's what keeps him happy. Tell me, what kid you know is going to give you that answer? You ask a kid what gives him peace and what gives him joy, he's going to tell you some game on the internet or some social media influencer, some song. This is what we're supposed to be instilling, so that when he gets to 18 and he's now going to be contributing to the community of social media, well, probably 16, when he is going to be contributing to the community, we pray that he's been given this root of righteousness. That's what he's going to be on. He'll be that part of the side, that side of the social media. Again, it says, verse 3 of Isaiah chapter 26, the confident mind you guard in safety because it trusts in you. This my wife gave us Genesis chapter 3. My Esther gave us Genesis chapter 3. Remember, she's dealing with the thought process of this, right? So when we go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 1, it says, the two of them were naked, the man and his wife, yet they felt no shame. Now the serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild beasts that the Most High had made. He said to the woman, did the Most High really say you shall not eat of any tree of the garden? So the serpent already knows that they're not supposed to eat this. Remember, the serpent was created before Adam and Eve. The serpent was sent down to the earth to be on its belly because of, it was now being cursed to be on its belly because of what it did to Adam and Eve, because it was already on the earth. So it was being messy. So from the beginning of Genesis, the beginning of us as a people, when we didn't even have a people and it was just Adam and Eve, we had a spirit, a serpent spirit that brought forth gossip. It's the same gossip that we have today because it's evil, it's demonic. So in Genesis, this is an outstanding verse that my wife found. Genesis chapter 3, chapter 3, verse 1. We have heard this many times before, but never in the context of gossip. We say he tempted her. He beguiled her. But he actually, before he could do that, he had to bring about confusion. That's messy. That was my wife's definition, right? Of mess was confusion that brings about difficulties. So the serpent, knowing that they already know what the deal is, knowing he knows what the deal is, gonna ask a question just to pose the question. That's being messy. It's been the downfall of our community since Adam and Eve, before they even had a child. Let's go to Proverbs 3. I'm going to go through these a little fast because I got to go and see my boy do his thing. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, and it reads, "Trust in the Most High with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths smooth." Acknowledging the Most High, and your paths will be smooth. Logan says he keeps himself at joy because he keeps the Most High upon his mind, and so do I. It is how I get my joy and my peace as well, right? So, as my wife gave us this Proverbs 5-6, and it reads again, "Trust in the Most High with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understanding." So, when the serpent told Eve, did he say all? Eve was supposed to say, yeah, and that's where we're going to stand. Yeah. I don't even know nothing about that tree in the middle. He told us every tree we could have except that one, and we ain't going near it. But because he first intrigued her with it, and she opened her vessel to say, well, then he says, okay, well, it's only because you could be like the Most High and know good and evil when they already knew good. See, that was a lie for him. He knew there is no more goodness than the Most High. There is nothing else in righteousness that is above the Most High, meaning in his title. So therefore, he knew that he was expressing to her, and that the flesh that she was made in would not allow her to do so. Nor him. But he says, you can know evil. But they didn't understand that. They didn't recognize that they knew the righteousness of all. And the Most High would come and walk with them in the garden. He gave them everything for free. The fruits were on the tree. The animals were named by Adam. Everything was laid out as a paradise. They knew the only goodness we could ever hope to have on this earth, the only righteousness we can hope to have. Don't let you knowing the commandments and the world come at you with a different perspective, make you say, well, maybe I don't need the commandments, or maybe I should follow some blood of somebody. I should follow some other writings in Arabic. And it says, let's go to Psalms 34. That was it right there. Psalms 34, verse 14. And it reads, guard your tongue from evil, your lips from deceitful speech. Shun evil and do good. Shun evil and do good. Seek amity and pursue it. So the Most High is saying, don't participate in the gossip. Don't put your gossip comments on things. Don't participate in propagating lies or mess or drama. Focus on righteousness and goodness and propagate that and speak that. And as it says in Psalms 40, 80 through 15, be a professor in a great congregation of that. Let's go to Psalms 122, verse 6 through 7. And it reads, pray for the well-being of Jerusalem, our people. Pray for the well-being of Jerusalem. May those who love you be at peace. May there be well-being within your ramparts, peace in your citadels. That's what we want. That's what our prayers are for. That's what we should be telling other people to do. We should be turning our minds from what this world is offering us because it's putrid. Let's go to Proverbs 16. Proverbs 16, verse 7. And it reads, when the Most High is pleased with the man's conduct, he may turn even his enemies into allies. So we say we're under siege here, right? We say we're in captivity, right? If we stop participating and spewing the wrong thing and spew the proper things, then the Most High says he turns our enemies into our allies. That would have been something that the slaves would have been telling each other online. Yeah. Let's go to Ezekiel 33, verse 25, chapter 33 of Ezekiel. Just imagine what the slaves would have been saying to each other. When they could communicate, they communicated in the Most High's words and Negro spirituals. So imagine what their feed would have been like. That's what I'm talking about. People that understood they was under captivity and beaten. You think you got freedom, so you don't need the Most High. You don't need to keep him steadfast. You don't need to communicate those type of things to each other. We now got enough freedom that we can now bash our brothers and sisters. We can now talk about other people's business that we got no business being in. We can tune in by 10,000 plus into a gay gentleman giving you all the mess and the tea. But you can't get 10,000 giving praise unto the commandments or the covenant that we are bound by. And it says Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 25. And it reads, therefore say to them, thus says the Most High, your creator, you eat with the blood, you raise your eyes to your fetishes, and you shed blood, yet you expect to possess the land. Most High is telling you clearly, your actions is why you're still in captivity. He said you eat with the blood, you raise your eyes to your fetishes, to the dramas, to the bull crap of this world. Okay. I know you're still here. I was like, he ain't not biting on something. To your fetishes, and you shed blood. As Logan said in his scripture, that when you're sloppy, you are brother to vandals. Vandals rob, steal, and kill. That's what vandals do. And it says, yet you expect to possess the land. You have relied on your sword. You have committed abominations. You have all defiled other men's wives. Yet you expect to possess the land. It's talking about defiling someone's wife. It's talking about defiling women. Let's go to our last scripture for the night. Understanding this mess verse peace. And if we want to be free, we got to change what we take in our minds, and that will change what we spew out our mouths, and that will affect our communities, and that will be contagious, and then they will spew the same things. And then the Most High will say, your city will prosper and you shall be exalted. It be like that. Hosea chapter 2, verse 18. It says, and in that day, declares the Most High, you will call me the Ishi. No more will you call me Baal. See, our people listening to gossip, listening to other nations, started following other gods of other nations. Baal was one of them. But ruler, Lord was the name of Baal. Most High said, you're not going to call me that. You're going to call me Ishi. For I will remove the names of Balaam from her mouth. Yasharallah, Jezebel, Ahab. They shall nevermore be mentioned by name. In that day, I will make a covenant for them with the beast of the field, the bird and the creeping things of the ground. I will also banish bow, sword, and war from the land. The Most High said, I will banish bow, sword, and war from the land. Thus, I will let them lie down in safety, and I will espouse you forever. That means forgive you forever. Just like you get your record espoused, that's what it's saying here. I will espouse you with righteousness and justice, and with goodness and mercy. I will espouse you with faithfulness. Then you shall be devoted to the Most High. In that day, I will respond. And what day? When we are speaking goodness, when we are telling our brothers how to be righteous and acting in righteousness, and then screaming out about our injustice. As long as we are being full of gossip, hate, instigation, lies, vanity, narcissism, as long as we are full of those things, how can you expect to have the grace and mercy of the Most High? For him to move people for you, for him to make people that would normally hate you be your ally. How do you think that's going to happen for you? You think that you're going to do a rabbit's foot? Think you're going to go and boil some pot? You're going to do a ritual? Most High said, how about change your ways? How about act right and you get covering? It says, I will respond to the sky, and I shall respond to the earth, and the earth shall respond with new grain and wine and oil, and they shall respond to Jezreel. All praises unto the Most High. Leave the messy stuff alone. Come back unto the Most High. Enrich your mind, your soul, your spirit, your eyes, and your ears with goodness and righteousness. All praise. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you guys on Monday. The Most High says so.